What's up, you guys? Today I have a really fun video for you. This is my first ever Beauty Bay haul, and that might seem kind of insane considering I've been here on YouTube for 6 years now and I've never done a Beauty Bay haul. But I had a bad experience with them back, I guess, when I first started my channel. I ordered one product. It was a Viseart palette that was 50% off for Black Friday, and it took like over 2 months to get to my house, and they weren't really responsive when I was trying to follow up with them on the order. And I don't know, it just like kind of made me wary of shopping with them again. Looking back, I don't know if it was actually that it took that long for international shipping, or if it was just because it was Black Friday and maybe they were really backed up on orders and that's why it took so long. But over the past year or so, I have been getting quite a number of requests to review their house line, their Beauty Bay brand, and admittedly, they have some really beautiful looking eyeshadow palettes, but I wasn't really quite sure until I saw the Metamorphic palette launch recently. And when I saw this, I just had to have it. Like, I decided, you know what, let me give them another chance. Let me see how the shipping goes. And I ended up not only buying this, but just putting so many other things into my cart that looked interesting. Thankfully, my experience with the shipping was much better. It came to me in under a week, so I was very, very happy with it. I have a feeling it was probably just because it was Black Friday that I had that issue. But anyway, to make a long story short, I have so many fun and exciting products to share, and I'm going to be putting some of them on at the same time, but I will also be swatching all the things I don't get a chance to try on and showing you guys up close. And I just want to quickly mention for anybody who might be new here that this video is not sponsored, and I do not do sponsored content here on this channel. So if that sounds good, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start out with the palette that really inspired this entire haul, and that's the by Beauty Bay Metamorphic palette. So this has such cool packaging. It looks very different from the packaging of their other palettes, which are just the standard regular cardboard palette that you open from the bottom. This one actually opens in the center, and I feel like it has a very futuristic vibe going on, both with the colors and the silver accents, as well as the shades inside, which are just absolutely stunning. I see several different duochrome finishes in here, and while it's mostly shimmer shades, there are a couple of mattes that you can pick from to use in your crease, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by the formula. I don't always love the formulas of house brands like Sephora Collections eyeshadows and Ulta's eyeshadows have never really wowed me that much, but this one feels really nice. The matte shades have a good amount of pigmentation. They feel very soft, and the shimmer shades especially blew me away. They almost felt like cream shadows. They were incredibly smooth, silky, very lightweight, but they still pack a good amount of pigment. So at least in a swatch, the formula feels really amazing. So let's go ahead and just do a look with this one. I also do have some other palettes to show you, but this is the one I really want to try on my eyes today and see what the formula is like. So I think I'm going to start out with the shade System over here, which is sort of like a mid-tone gray, and I'm going to put this one in my crease. I did prep my eyelids with the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly, and then I always usually dust a translucent powder or like an ivory shade from another palette on top of that, just so that it's not super grippy and shadows will blend on top of it really easily. And so far, I mean, this looks really nicely pigmented. I'm just gonna work this across my crease, sort of creating a new crease above my actual fold since I have hooded eyes. And I like to do this with a small little brush. This one is the A504 from BK Beauty. And this brush is a little bit fluffy, so I find that I can blend it somewhat with this, but then I usually like to just grab a larger brush. This is the blender from my JENPHELPS Doll 10 collection. And then I usually just blend it a little bit further with something like this, just to get rid of any harsh edges. Also, as I've been blending this shadow in, I noticed that it doesn't really have fallout. It doesn't feel powdery. There's not a lot of kick up, and it almost is like melting into my skin, and just really, it looks so seamless. I'm impressed so far. I hope that every shade works out this well, but honestly, so far so good. It really didn't need a lot of blending. Next, I'm gonna grab the shade Parallel right here, and this one is for my outer corner. This is a really deep blue, but it almost seems like it has a little bit of a purple tone to it as well. It's really pretty, and I think it'll help to deepen up the look just a little bit. So again, I'm using that same A504 brush from BK Beauty to just apply this to the outer corner. And this one also, no fallout. It's melting right into my skin. It does sheer out a little bit from what it looks like in the pan, but if I go back in, let's see if I can just build it up a little. Yeah, I mean, these build upon themselves very easily, so that's not a problem. Next, I really want to use one of these beautiful purples, so I think I'm gonna grab this one right here. It looks so gorgeous. I just picked it up on my finger and look at the shine on that. Isn't it so pretty? All right, let's see how it applies to the eyes. Oh wow, it's so smooth. There is zero glitter fallout. Some of these shades do have little micro glitters in the formula, but because they almost feel like a cream texture, they're not crumbly and they're not gonna just fall all over the place, which is awesome. Wow, look at how beautiful this color is. Oh my goodness. To think that this is only a $25 palette and you have so many stunning duochrome shades, it's amazing. I also want to note that the shimmer shades are really impressive as well. At least in my mirror, I am just seeing these have such a beautiful blend. Even applying them with a finger, I'm not even blending them in really, but because they're so thin in texture and these also just melt into the skin just like the matte shades did, I don't see a lot of harsh lines. It just, everything just feels like it looks really blended, at least in my little mirror. I don't know what you guys are seeing on there, but it's just a gorgeous ethereal look. So I think I'm gonna use one more shade just because I really want to try some more. And I'm gonna pick up this one, Future, and just pop this right in the center of the lid just for some dimension. And we'll see what this does. I don't want to completely change the color, but I also just want to kind of add a little bit of a pop. Oh wow, yeah, that just kind of takes it up a notch just slightly. It just adds a little bit more of like a glittery effect. Wow, I'm so impressed with this palette right now. I think if you're somebody who enjoys cool tones, you are really going to enjoy this palette, especially because it's not all blue. Like there is some blue in here, but you also have the gray and silver, and I love that they added the purples in here. There's really just so much that you can do with this palette, and all of the different finishes with the duochromes, it just adds yet another level of interest. So I'm really just so impressed and blown away right now. So I'm excited to try more palettes from Beauty Bay for sure. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop on some mascara really quick. This is the Hourglass Unlocked Extensions, which is a tubing formula. Next up, I did get another Beauty Bay palette to try. This is the Rich palette, and I know a few of you have recommended this to me over the last year or so, so I wanted to check it out. This is just from their regular line. So the packaging looks extremely similar to all of their other palettes. I think the Metamorphic one just completely stands out because it doesn't look like anything else that they have. This is a 16 color palette, and what I liked about this one is that it's both warm tones, but it also has a lot of rosy shades, and I am such a sucker for rosy tones. You guys know how much I love like the Huda Beauty Naughty Nudes palette, and this one kind of gave me those vibes, and I really wanted to try Beauty Bay's formula. And I was really impressed with this one too. At least swatching it, it feels like incredible quality, so much better than any of the store brands that we have here in the States. The shimmer shades have that super smooth, very lightweight feel, similar to the Metamorphic palette, and I find that the matte shades in this palette feel a little bit more velvety and almost slightly more pigmented than the ones in the Metamorphic palette. So the mattes feel a little tiny bit different, but I think in a good way. They just have such a rich feel with a ton of pigmentation. So I'm gonna be really excited to try this one out and see what it's like. They honestly have so much variety on their website of these palettes. They have some really huge mega palettes, kind of similar to the ColourPop ones. And then they have some smaller 9 pans. They have these medium-sized ones. So they just so much variety. And I don't know why, I just wasn't expecting this level of quality. These feel amazing. So I'll have to update you guys on the Rich palette at a later date, but I have really high hopes for it because it seems like it's gonna be really good. Also, on the opposite side of the affordable spectrum, I spent a little bit of money and I got myself some Lethal Cosmetics singles. So this palette was honestly not cheap. I have 12 singles that I filled this palette with, and Lethal Cosmetics has a lot of multi-chromes, and those are the ones that I'm almost like most attracted to. They're around $18.50 each. So like I said, filling up this palette was not cheap. If you want to just try the formula, you might want to start out with just a couple singles and put them in a magnetic palette. But I've been wanting to try their formula for such a long time, and I feel like if I'm gonna spend upwards of $100 on an eyeshadow palette, I would rather have something like this than Pat McGrath, which, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I know I've said this before, I don't feel like Pat McGrath is really any different than any of the other high-end brands that are charging like $50 or $60 for a palette, and hers are double. So I would much rather spend the extra money and get something like this from a really good quality indie brand. Let me just show you guys a close-up of the palette. And by the way, I just kind of picked some random shades that I was interested in. I wasn't trying to make a cohesive color story, so that's not really what this is about. I'm just trying out a bunch of the different shades that interested me, and if I really love them, I can always get more and kind of arrange them into a color story that makes sense. But there are some absolutely stunning finishes in here, and the formula also feels incredible, particularly the shimmer shades with the metallic or multi-chrome finishes. They have the smoothest feel. They almost go on like liquid metal, and I think you can really tell in the swatches just how much shine and depth and dimension these have. They're truly something special, and I know that like Pat McGrath has her special shades in her palettes. These just blow those away, in my opinion. And I think if you're looking for truly special eyeshadows, indie brands are honestly the way to go. I know Sydney Grace has a lot of really gorgeous shadows as well. And there are still a lot of other indie brands that are on my list to try, Lethal being one of them. So again, I'm gonna have to update you guys on this one and just let you know what I think of it, but I have a feeling I'm gonna love it. Moving on to face products, I bought a lot of blush in this haul, so bear with me. But before we get into blush, I just wanna share a bronzer that I got. This is actually a liquid bronzer, and it's from the brand Pink Honey. So this is a UK-based indie brand, and you might remember several months ago, there was like this big controversy with them because Makeup Revolution had copied one of their products, and then the owner of Pink Honey came on, I think it was TikTok, and she was accusing them of, stealing her designs and kind of taking advantage of small businesses. So that's how I first heard about this brand, because we don't really hear about it much here in the States. And at the time, I made a mental note to definitely check out their brand and support them at some point. So I did get a couple of their products. The first one is called Sheer Sunskin, and this is a liquid bronzer. It claims to be a silky soft bronzing fluid that creates an instant natural sun-kissed glow on the skin, and it has hyaluronic acid to help hydrate and protect the skin. It's also lightweight and gives a no makeup feel, and I absolutely love the packaging. I think this is so cute and interesting. It's a little heart, and when you twist the corner, you have the little squeezy tube, and I feel like this color looks like it's gonna be pretty good for me. It's not too dark, and I feel like it's not too orange, even though it is warmer toned. Again, this is not a contour, it's a bronzer, so I don't really want it to be super cool, especially if I'm wanting to warm up my face and give it more of a sun-kissed look. And I think this feels really nice and lightweight, just like they claimed. It doesn't feel like it's going to be sticky or leave too much of a dewy finish. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to use my angled foundation brush from my JENPHELPS collection. This is a really good dense brush for applying creams, and I'm just going to start blending this into the skin. Oh, this looks so pretty. This really is such a thin formula. It's just kind of disappearing right in, and it's giving a really nice warm glow without being too warm. Just gonna put a little bit under this cheekbone and bring it down on the chin. I'm also gonna hit my forehead just a little bit. I'm really, really impressed so far with how this is blending in. It really looks so natural. And I think that's one of the things I love about liquid bronzers versus powder, is that the liquids tend to not look as muddy. It doesn't cling like to dry patches if you're a little bit more dry like I am. So I'm really liking this so far. It's adding a nice warm glow to my skin without looking fake. or orangey. I can't even see where I put it, honestly, because it's just blending right in. All right, so I definitely look like I got a little bit of sun, so I love the effect that that gave. It's super natural. And also from Pink Honey, I got their blush version of the liquid bronzer. This is also called Sheer Sun Skin. And instead of sun-kissed fluid, this one is called Flushed Fluid, and I have it in the shade Raspberry Radiance. It says that it creates a glowy, flushed look on the skin and is also enriched with hyaluronic acid to help hydrate, and that it has a lightweight feel and an illuminating finish. So this one does have a little bit of sheen to it, and I think this color is absolutely stunning. I'm not going to apply it on my face today, unfortunately, because there are other blushes that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes that I really want to try, but I'm excited to test this one out, especially because the bronzer fluid has such a nice feel and it's just so seamless how it goes into your skin, and this feels pretty much the exact same way. So I'm excited to try this, especially because this color looks like it would really just wake up your face. And also, even though this color is an illuminating shade, it doesn't look glittery like the Charlotte Tilbury blush wands. It just looks a little bit more subtle and maybe has more of a pearlized effect. So I think that's going to be really nice as well, because I don't really like a lot of glitter on my cheeks. So I'm hoping for the best with this one, but again, I'll have to give you guys an update. And then the last thing that I got from Pink Honey was their blush Bible. So this actually came in a box and the two colors are separate. So in here, you're actually getting a powder blush and a cream blush. So think of it kind of like those Patrick Ta blush duos where you have complementary powder and cream blush shades. But this is a lot cheaper. Instead of almost $40, this is only 20 bucks. And when you first get these, they come separately, but you are able to click these two together and just make it into one little compact, which I think is so cute. It's a little bit on the chunky side, but it's also really small and manageable. And each side gives you a mirror as well. And I thought that these formulas felt really nice. The cream has a nice thin weightless texture that just blends right into the skin and it dries down matte. And the powder side was just ultra silky and soft. This particular color has just a hint of sheen to it. It's not a flat matte color. I would say it's more like a satin finish. It doesn't have any glitter or too much glow, but it just gives the tiniest little hint of sheen on the skin. So this also looks incredible. I'm so excited to try this as well because I love layering cream and powder blushes. It just helps them to last all day long. So it's great to have both formulas in that really complementing shade right in one little compact. Next up, I got some more blushes from a brand called Made by Mitchell. So these are called Blursh, and I actually had to look him up. He was on TikTok for a while, I guess, and just blew up. And this particular product of his actually is like the most viral. They've been selling out and hard to get, but apparently they're all back in stock right now at Beauty Bay. And right away, as soon as I saw these, I was obsessed with the packaging because it's just so fun and bright and happy. I really love it. These are also a good price. I think they're regularly $16. I think I saw them on sale today for $14, so I don't know how long that's going to be going on. But either way, the packaging feels incredibly high end. These do not feel like a cheap product at all. And you get a lot of product in here. You only need the tiniest little amount, so I think they're just going to last you a really long time. And as we know, high-end liquid blushes can be in the $30 to $40 range. So I think this is such a good price for these. And like I said, the packaging just makes me happy. I love the neon green caps. It's honestly just such cute makeup. And the three shades that I ended up getting are more suited to my skin tone, but he has an enormous range of colors on the website. I could not believe how many there were to pick from. It was really hard for me to even choose, but I just want to put that out there. I feel like there is something for everybody. So I don't know what color to use today. I think I'm going to try Sweet Cheeks just because my eyes are a little more cool toned. And this one and Strawberry Cream are both cooler toned shades, but Strawberry Cream is really light. I'm not sure even if this is going to show up on me. I guess I could try and see. I'm curious. And if it's too light, then maybe I'll just deepen it up with the other one with Sweet Cheeks. So let me just put a dot and see what happens. I'm just going to blend it with the BK Beauty 112 brush. This is such a pretty baby pink shade. And these have like a moussey type of feel. I don't think I put enough on. These have a mousse type feel that dries down all the way. It sinks right into the skin. Ooh, this is actually a gorgeous color. It's kind of like a barely there sort of a blush, but I love how smooth it is. Kind of like the Beauty Bay eyeshadows. It's seamless. You really can't tell like where the blush ends and my skin begins. It's just gorgeous. All right, so let me just do the other cheek. I could always deepen it up a little bit with the other color, but I think for every day, like if I was just gonna leave the house now, I would probably just leave this the way it is. Sometimes on camera, I feel like it washes out colors a little bit because I have these bright lights, but in person, I can definitely see my blush just fine. And this is probably the amount that I would wear just on a normal basis. But yeah, I love how these just dry down. They have a nice velvety feel to them. That is so pretty. All right, I actually might leave this because I think I want to layer it with a powder blush. So I did get a blush palette also from Made by Mitchell, and this is his Blursh, but it's the powder version. So this is a 12 shade palette. Packaging is just a little bit chunky. I do wish it was slightly slimmer, but I mean, when you open this up, it honestly looks like no other blush palette that I've seen. And I think that's because these are all, again, just like very happy, bright, bold colors. It's not just your standard basic pinks and neutrals. On the one side, you have these gorgeous cool tones. He even has some purples in there. And then on the right side, you have these gorgeous warm peaches and terracottas. And the colors are just interesting. And that's what I love about this palette before even trying out the formula. This is the type of makeup that gets me excited about makeup again. I think sometimes we just keep seeing the same things over and over again. And I really love that this brand is just doing something fun and unique. So I was thinking I might want to do a lavender shade on top of the pink one that I have. This shade is called For the Lovers, and I'm just going to pick this up with my JENPHELPS blush brush, and let's see how this applies. The liquid blush is already completely dried down, so this shouldn't be a problem to blend on top of it. And again, like I mentioned, when you layer blushes, it just really helps them to lock in place all day. Look at how pretty this is. It doesn't even look purple on the skin. It just looks like a cool tone pink. And that's one reason I love purple blushes, is because sometimes even if a blush looks cool toned in the pan, sometimes when I put them on my cheeks, they instantly turn peachy. It's the weirdest thing, but I find that if you go with a purple blush, it's gonna keep that cooler tone. This is just so pretty. I feel like I'm in blush heaven right now, and eyeshadow heaven actually. All right, and then for lips, I don't have anything from Beauty Bay, so I'm just going to apply my Lawless Forget the Filler lip liner in Pink Slip. It's always so hard for me to find truly cool toned lip products. Again, I feel like they always pull kind of warm and peachy, but this is a nice lip liner. I really like this color. I hope it's not too warm. And then I'm just gonna top it with the Kosas Tinted Lip Balm in the shade Malibu, which is also a very cool tone pink. And here's the final look. And you guys, not only do I love how this look came out, but I had the most fun with this video that I've had in such a long time. I just felt like all the products that I tried today were just fun and unique and interesting and just something a little bit different. And I'm honestly kicking myself now for not shopping on Beauty Bay earlier and letting that one bad experience get in the way of this, because I feel like I've just been missing out on some really stellar brands. And this haul definitely shook me out of my makeup rut a little bit. And like I said before, just helped me to get a little bit more excited again. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. Have you tried any of these brands from Beauty Bay? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I really, truly appreciate it. If you do have some extra time and you'd like to check out some more of my videos, I'll just pop a playlist right up here. You can check those out next. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button before you go. And I will see you all in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.